out there, YouTube?
Sup out there, YouTube? This your boy Johansson 030, but you already knew that.
This is SCL 0320.
Yeah.
Representing JVS, we are back for a spoiler review.
Yeah, for sure.
The Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book.
Which we both, whether y'all know it or not, we both gave this movie a 10 out of 10. We couldn't find any faults in it. It's going to be hard to talk about any negatives in our spoiler review, because normally that's what we do. We go between negatives and positives. We're going to be basically talking this movie up for y'all, because if you haven't seen it, you got to go out and check it out. Stop this right now. If you haven't seen the movie, go put this in your watch later. Go and watch it. Just go right now. If you're watching IMAX, watch it. It's going to be amazing. If you're watching 3D, it's going to be amazing. And I promise you, you are not going to be displeased. If you remember like the old cartoon and you enjoy the old cartoon, every good part of this, they add in the book and then some. They add this as a true adaptation. But what were some of the parts that we want to talk about? Let's just talk about the big beast in the room. And I do mean Bill Murray's Baloo. I'm just playing. No, Bill Murray does a great job as Baloo. I loved him as Baloo. Like he was a huge bear. Like legitimately, like he was a con artist. He was funny, but he had real heart, and he had a real caring for the character Mowgli. But who I really want to talk about is Shere Khan. Like Idris Elba as Shere Khan was a beautiful, beautiful, evil character, man. Like he was a maniacal evil character, because basically you find out early on, or not early on, a little bit later on in between, that he's got this scar on his eyes. His eyes jacked up. Only got one of his eyes. And basically, when Mowgli was a boy, his dad was trying to protect him. I'm not sure if his mom got killed or not. I don't think so, if I remember the story correctly. But anyway, his dad got killed by Shere Khan. But before he could see Mowgli, after he killed him, the fire got in his face and it scarred him. And after that point, he had this vendetta against any humans in general. And so when we first see Mowgli in the beginning of the movie, he's trying to run with the wolf pack, trying to do his thing. And you start to realize, like, basically there's a drought that kind of comes up. And everybody is going to the water hole. All of a sudden we see this presence come out. And it's Idris Elba's, like, Shere Khan. And this dude, he has no chill. Like, he just loves just thriving and getting his way. I mean, one of the first heinous acts he does, he just straight up walks up to the leader of the wolf pack and just sits there like this, just chilling. And then they started talking peace and stuff like that. I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe he's gonna let it go. Nah, he just kills the guy, straight up. And like, he does all these different random things that a good villain would do. And I was like, this is beautiful. I don't know. And him to be an all CG character, I just couldn't believe how well they got him. I mean, what was some, besides, with him and in any other character you could think of that you want to talk about the moments in the movie?
Yeah, I mean, with his character, Shere Khan, I mean, Idris Elba did a great job. I mean, I don't even think I need that. I mean, you described it pretty well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not gonna touch on more for his character, but I mean, he does do a great job.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with the actor who played Mowgli.
Yes.
Just because, I mean, different scenes, like you see this kid, and he's got so much personality, like him as an actor, and then you see it on screen. He's got so much personality, because there's scenes where you see him interacting with Baloo, and like they're singing and like just having a good time, and like I'm literally watching him, and it's like he's interacting with a bear that he's not seeing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like this is so cool. And I mean, and then like he goes through like so many different emotions through this whole movie, and you see him like happy, and when you see him sad, then you see him like kind of standing up for himself towards the end, and it's just like, wow, like the range of his acting at this age is just good.
It's crazy.
I mean, he's just good.
Because he's acting off for nobody. I mean, I don't know if the voice actors are actually animating their bodies in certain moments, but it's like, from all realization that he's only working around the green screen, and there's nobody really there. And I mean, for him to do all those stunts, it's like, wow.
Yeah, dude. And he looks just like I would think Mowgli would.
I agree.
Like from the cartoon or from the animated one, onto like the live action animated one. I mean, cause like this one is. I mean, he looks. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better Mowgli.
Yeah.
I really couldn't.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, things get really hectic really fast too, especially when he's on the run from Shere Khan.
Oh yeah, when he's running, he's actually running.
Yeah. And
he's like literally booking it through the.
As fast as you get to understand, he's running as fast as he can.
Yeah.
And even like some of the stuff like that happens, like there's like a stampede that's happening in the middle of a canyon. Like he's on the side of like some stuff. When there's like a landslide happening. I mean, he's really put in a lot of compromising situations that are just eye-candy because they're not supposed to be real. But like the way that he plays it and the way that the sincerity is coming off his eyes, it makes you feel like he's really there. You know, when he's feeling fear, you're feeling it with him. But the other thing I'll say is like Ben Kingsley and Bill Murray, like is Bagheera and Baloo. I mean, they are separate characters. They have a lot of differences, but it's an understanding and a mutual respect with them that transcends into the later on in the movie. By the time that Mowgli defeats Shere Khan, that everybody looks in esteem of him. And you're like, man, I can't believe this kid. There's one sequence that happens in the middle of the movie. Well, it's toward the latter end, where Mowgli sees like these elephants and like Bagheera's telling him like bend down, like they're the ones that, you know, shape the scope of everything that happens in this jungle. Like they are the watchers essentially. And he gives reverence to him, and he sees this little bitty one, and she's kind of, or he or she's kind of walking through. And I remember that from the actual cartoon. But later on, the little one gets stuck in the canyon. And this is after Mowgli had really just kind of gotten dissed by Bagheera, and he's kind of down on himself. And he decides to go and use the tools or traits that he's given with his hands, and he rescues the elephant. And then later on, those same elephants are the ones that actually save the jungle. And it's like, it's a perfect kind of symmetry. I was like, man, they need to do the Lion King. Because they have the technology of doing it. Matter of fact, Jon Favreau should just do it. Like, he's won me over personally. I don't know who they do the voice actors for, but they need to do this immediately. But there are certain subtle moments like that where Mowgli is kind of being compromised emotionally. Like, one of probably the worst things that kind of happened to him was when King Louis, which that sequence was awesome. I was going to let you actually talk about that, but coming out of it, King Louis told him that basically his dad died. And it was because of him. And he was left with this realization that he wanted to get vengeance. And at that point, he wanted to go get the red flower. We found out the red flower is fire. And it's a detriment to everyone. And it brought fear to everyone. And so, I mean, it's just a lot of different things that happened that I really loved in this movie. And I couldn't find really anything in fault in it. But what did you think about King Louis, though? Because I know you had talked about, like, how the scope of how big he was.
Oh, yeah, dude. King Louis is huge compared to King Louis you see in the original animated.
Yeah.
Not only that, I mean, well, a lot of the, I mean, most of the characters are way bigger in this film than what they've depicted in the animated cartoon.
Yeah.
I mean, the snake, I forgot her name, but the snake was freaking huge. Like, snake was like covering freaking like a group of trees. Like, you just sitting there and you thought, like, from far away you thought it was a vine, a thick vine, but it's actually part of the snake.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's one thing you gotta think about too. This is from the perspective of a child. Like, these animals are huge.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, in this, I mean, that was just, it was, that's what I meant when I said that they add a level of epicness to this film. It was just like, these are like wild animals, and like,
Yeah.
they're huge. They're huge. Baloo is huge. King Louie was huge. Now, King Louie is like way out of proportion. Like, I've never seen an orangutan that big.
Yeah.
Like, you've never seen an orangutan that big, but he was huge.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. But I was like, holy crap, this dude is huge. And he's actually running through like this old temple looking place, and he's just like,
yeah, it looked like an old Buddhist temple,
running through walls and stuff like that. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, but then even with that though, like,
Mowgli, run Mowgli.
But not even just like how big he was. You gotta think about it. These monkeys were not real either. It's like they got him perfect from a visual standpoint, but then the monkeys that he was interacting with, like, how do you do that animation wise? Like, all these small animals had their own small personalities. Mm-hmm. And that's hard to do because they were fighting with Bagheera and Baloo at one point, and then they just stopped in 1 second. And then after, you know, King Louie got hurt, they ran to him trying to dig him out of the rubble. And I mean, the movie is just epic, man. Like, I don't really have any more I can say about it. You just have to go and check it out for yourself. If you already watched it, go check it out again, because if you haven't seen it in IMAX, I definitely say that's the way to go. Because the sound was perfect, the visual immersion was perfect, the 3D was not too overbearing. It probably could, I mean, that's the only thing I could say. It could have been a little bit more in your face. But then sometimes that can get exaggerated, where it's like unnecessary. But this movie, I thought it was perfect, basically. I mean, last movie I gave it 10 was The Room. And that was last year. I don't remember what we gave The Force Awakens. I think maybe gave that a 10. But this movie was definitely deserving of it. And I don't know. I just can't wait for them now to come out with the Beauty and the Beast. I want them to come out Aladdin first before they come out with The Lion King. That way they can get a little bit more time with the VFX. But if they came out with it and said tomorrow Lion King is a go, I'm there. I'm happy. Anyway, you got anything else, Joe? Well, hopefully y'all enjoyed our spoiler-filled review for The Jungle Book. Keep it locked, JVS. We ain't gonna stop. Have a blessed one.